Stopping the unconstitutional wage tax allows the worker to keep more of their money. Stopping the unconstitutional wage tax simplifies government by design. This page changed with the August 20, 2025 edit. Income tax versus wage tax. Both of them are tied to the Constitution of the United States of America, Amendment 16, which states, "The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derived, without apportionment among the several states, and without regard to any census or enumeration." By definition, both wages and income are tied to labor, as we see in the following two definitions from 1828 and 1898, income and wages. Old Dictionary time. Income, 1828. 1. That gain which proceeds from labor, business or property of any kind, the produce of a farm, the rent of houses, proceeds of professional business, the profits of commerce or of occupation, the interest of money or stocks in funds. Notice, the gain which proceeds from labor, the profits of commerce or of occupation, the interest of money, the gain of private persons. Notice what is not here yet. No mention of wages or salary. Both are also connected to labor. Income, 1898. 3. The gain which proceeds from labor, business, property, or capital of any kind, as the produce of a farm, the rent of houses, the proceeds of a professional business, the profits of commerce or of occupation, or the interest in money, or stocks in funds, etc. Notice the gain which proceeds from labor, the profits of commerce or of occupation, the interest in money. Wages, 1828. 1. Hire, reward, that for which is paid or stipulated for service, but chiefly for service by manual labor, or for military and naval services. Wages, 1898. A compensation given to a hired person for services. Price paid for labor. Recompense, hire, see wage. Compensation, 1898. 2. That which constitutes or is regarded as an equivalent, that which makes good the lack or variation of something else, that which compensates for loss or privation, amend, remuneration, recompense. Wages, so far, is nothing more than an employer repaying a debt to the employee for the labor or services they provided to the employer. Rarely does the employer make an equivalent return in cash for the services performed by the employee. Employees are rarely compensated for the full value of the labor they perform. As such, the employee works to a financial loss in comparison to the value of services provided. Up to 1898, wages have been, as it states in the 1898 definition, a compensation paid for labor. It was never considered a gain for the person to whom it was paid. Amendment 16 grants to Congress the power to tax incomes from whatever source derived. A power not granted to Congress is the power to define or redefine what is income. Congress possesses no authority to define what is income, only to tax that which is a gain. The Constitution does not grant to Congress the power to include wages with income and tax it as though it were a form of gain to the employee. With respect to labor, income is the gain which proceeds from labor. 1898 definition. When the employer receives more value from the employee labor than they pay to the employee, it is the employer who has gained from the labor received. The employer then owes income tax on that gain from their employee's labor. The employer will simply adjust the selling price of the product and service to accommodate for the taxes on their gain from the labor. With respect to labor, wages is the compensation for labor. 1898 definition. Wages, therefore, are not income because they are not a gain to the employee. The Constitution of the United States of America does not grant a direct tax or any other tax on wages. The wage tax is, therefore, unjust and unconstitutional. Yes, the Constitution is a living document in that it is supposed to be kept current with the ever-changing society. That is the purpose for Article 5. The amendment process does not include the use of more modern dictionaries to redefine constitutional content to make it appear as though congressional actions comply with constitutional restraints. If an error or omission was made in the Constitution at the time it was ratified, simply propose another amendment to clear up the matter. Up next, stop the unconstitutionally applied income tax. Governments derive their just power from the consent of the governed. 1776. The governed, by design, are intended to work together as a unified body, controlling the government's powers, equally protecting each other's rights. End page content.